Hopefully the Instagram connects because I know I was testing some of that out. Looks good to me. There we go.
Mm-hmm. I just went live on my end, so.
Yep, same with me. All right, welcome in to Football After Hours. Another week, another show, joined by Shane and Brandon for the division previews, starting with the NFC East and the AFC East. How excited are you guys to get this going? I know we were going to do the receiver draft. We're going to save that for later in the month, but how excited are you guys to get that one going, to get the division previews going?
It's good, and I think this is a good starting point for the defending Super Bowl champs, and another, and then the other East Division being one that I think is going to look a little different this year. So, yeah.
All right, Brandon, we're starting with the NFC East, and we are starting with your Philadelphia Eagles. So go ahead and start the preview for them for us.
It's the one show a year. I mean, I mention the Eagles a lot. We know this, but it's the one show a year where I can talk about them at least for 15 minutes, almost uninterrupted. I mean, I'm not to do that anyway, but this year this show, I'm absolutely granted the ability to. So yeah, Super Bowl champs retooling for this year. Lost a few guys. Losing Josh Sweat, that's going to hurt off the edge a little bit. That's probably where their biggest losses are. You lose Milton Williams also to New England. Sweat goes to Arizona. Both of them got big deals, and we knew that was going to happen. Brandon Graham retired, so you no longer have pretty much an anchor on the defensive line. But it does open the way for the younger guys who did get some playing time and who did have some good, valuable Super Bowl minutes to be the full-time starters next year. So you have Jalen Hunt, who played really well in spurts last year. Moro Ojomo, who's now pretty much taken over as another key piece on the line. You're still going to keep Carter and Davis together, which is huge because both of them in the middle are absolute monsters. If anything, you're losing veterans, but you're getting a little bit faster on the D line. Faster, and I would think maybe even a little stronger. Nolan Smith will finally get a full run of it too. So Nolan Smith was fantastic last year. Set some records in the playoffs. I think that was the most sacks in a 3-game stretch in the playoffs, I think, in NFL history. So I think they'll be fine on the defensive line. Jahad Campbell, what new linebacker? That's a big addition. He was a first-round pick this year.
Love that pick.
Yeah, he'll get plenty of run, and Vic Fangio knows how to use the linebackers. So, this is the guy that made Zach Bond a star last year. So he'll use Jahad Campbell pretty much roughly the same way. Nakobe Dean is going to get his chance when he comes back, but that won't be for a while. So Jahad Campbell's going to have full run next to Zach Bond pretty much as part of the front seven. Corners, you lose Darius Slay, so you lose a veteran. You lose a great veteran. But it's time for the kids to play. So you're going to see another year of Quinyon Mitchell, who to me got robbed. It says before got robbed, defensive rookie of the year. Cooper DeJean, who was also a defensive rookie of the year candidate, who had the pick six in Super Bowl. So they're going to be just fine. DeJean is probably going to stay at nickel corner. And for CB2, you're pretty much going to have all signs point to Keely Ringo, who's now been there for the last 2 years. So, he's had a chance to sit behind some of the guys and kind of learn and grow. So we'll see what he's got this year. So the CB2 spot is the question mark, how they're going to rotate guys in and out, and if they're going to leave DeJean in the nickel corner. It seems like that's what they want to do. I don't know if they will.
They should.
They should, but I don't know if they will. And then you have safety is probably your biggest question mark, I would think, on the defense, because you have, you traded away CJ Gardner-Johnson, who has been starting controversy all off season long, but you've got him now in Houston, which is actually big for their defense. But for us, you have Sidney Brown, who he's good, but he's never healthy, so he's a question mark. And then your only other safety option right now is your rookie who you drafted in the second round, Andrew Makuba. And I like him because he's a ball hawk. They've compared his game a little bit to being like a Brian Dawkins-esque safety. He had 5 receptions last year at Texas, so he can go after the ball, which is nice. So that he should make up for the production that you would get out of CJ. So I don't think there's going to be too much to worry about. I mean, there's going to be some growing pains. It is a bunch of younger guys this year, but I don't think the defense is going to. This is the team that was number 1 overall defense last year. I don't think they fall out of the top 5 this year. I think they're just too good, and Vic Fangio knows how to run a defense. So these guys are going to get after it. So I'm not worried. As much as people might say, "Oh, well, you lost a few guys." Yeah, they did, but every Super Bowl team does, and this team, has great leadership and a good coaching staff to go with it. So I'm not worried about that. And then offensively, it's all the same, more or less. They're just running it back with the guys they got. Will Shipley said that he wants to have a bigger role this year at RB2. So he's going to give A.J. Dillon a run. I'm excited to see what A.J. Dillon does in this offense. He's the big kind of move that we made. Can't wait to use him against the Packers because they cried about the tush push. So all right, we're just gonna shove him down your throat. But we'll see how that. True. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Like, okay, you want the tush push? Fine, we'll just run with A.J. Dillon, who can squat 550 pounds. Good luck with that. So, I'm excited to see what he does. I know what Jalen's going to do. I know what AJ's going to do. I know what Devontae's going to do. Dallas Goedert has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
But when he is on the field, production wise, he's a top 5 tight end. Just that he's only on the field for maybe 10 games a year. So that's the tough part, is keeping him on the field. And because he was a huge part of the Super Bowl run. He made a lot of big time catches in a lot of those games. So I want to see him finally stay healthy. But I'm not worried. I think they win the division again overall. I think that, I don't think it's going to be 13, 14 games because the schedule is way too tough. But I think they end up high end winning 12, low end winning 10. They're still going to make the playoffs. That's what Philly does. So it's just a matter of them, if they're going to be the first through 4 seeds, because they're not going to be a wild card team. They're going to win this division again. I don't see how they don't. Because that'll bring us to our next point. We get to Washington. But as far as the Eagles go, I'll stay in the middle and I'll stay on the higher end. I still have hope. I'll say 12 wins. I just think everything about them is the leadership, the players having the drive. They've been saying all the right things all offseason. They've all looked good in training camp, one way or another, both offensively and defensively. I'm not worried about no Madden curse for Saquon. That I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Review of that game's coming the next week or 2 weeks. Oh Jesus,
yeah,
that review's gonna be bad.
Yeah. So overall, I think that pretty much sums up our team. And then you got, well, really the last thing is you got Kevin Patullo now, who is the offensive coordinator. He's been in house. He's been with Sirianni and Philly now for pretty much Jalen Hurts' whole tenure in Philadelphia. So he has seen pretty much the MVP season in 22, or the runner-up MVP season in 22, the struggles in 23, the good year in 24, but injured and kind of using the running game more. So he's kind of seen all the different facets that Jalen has to his game. He's seen how this offense operates the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm not worried about him being the OC now. And he even said when he took over the role, like after the first week, he was like, "Really, if it ain't broke, don't fix it." So I don't expect the offense to change that much. So I think that they're not running it back because they've got, they're running it back in terms of what their aspirations are, but they're not running it back because they've also added a couple pieces, a couple young guys. I think they drafted really well. So I'm not concerned about what they're going to bring to the table this year because they're going to get after it. They're defending Super Bowl champs. They've been in the Super Bowl now, 3 of the last, 9 years? So, or around that. They've played the Chiefs twice. They played the Chiefs twice, blow them out last year. Yeah, it's like 8, but I forgot how the seasons work. It's like something like that. It's 3 of the last 8, 3 of the last 9. So I think that they are comfortable being the team to chase in the NFC. So I'm fine with that. Unless, and we'll talk about them in the next couple weeks, but unless San Fran with their easy schedule cakewalks to the first seed, then I still think it's Philly again. So I think they actually take the first seed this time and don't end up as a second. So I think we're fine where we are. I think those are going to be your division champs, and I think that's going to break the cycle. It's going to break the over 20 years since you've got repeat champs in the NFC East, and the last time was Philadelphia. So I think that it started with the Eagles. I think it ends with the Eagles. So floor is yours, boys.
Go ahead, Shane. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like with the Eagles, I mean, they have the best at every position in this division other than probably edge rusher. Being Micah Parsons, which, we'll see if he stays in this division. I'm guessing they'll get the deal done and he'll be a Cowboy, but whatever.
I think same with Terry McLaurin, who we'll talk about next.
Yeah, because that's
presume that they'll get him done. Yeah.
Otherwise it's like, the new offensive coordinator. I mean, hiring somebody in house is always kind of risky, but we'll see what happens, and I think. Even if he's great, it is going to take, a few weeks, just kind of growing pains, getting everyone on the same page. But, and so I think that, and then, losing like a couple of the key guys. Well, not even key guys. I mean, Brandon Graham, they lost him, but like he barely even played last year and they were just fine without him, So, I think they won 14 last year. I think they probably win, 12 this year, maybe 13. It'll be a little tougher, I think, just based off of the kind of the support pieces they lost. Guys like Sweat and Milton, whatever else. But for the most part, I think they're loaded in all the right places, and they have. I mean. They also just have the mentality going for them. So, I think they should win this division with, not with ease, but they should win it. And I think they're probably going to go 5-1 in their division games this year. I'll let you figure out who they're going to split with. It's pretty obvious, but so. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say there, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. X Factor player, Brandon.
You know how many guys I could pick?
I think it's an easy one.
I mean, I don't want to pick the easy one. Because to me it would be the guy that could have won Offensive Player of the Year and MVP last year.
Okay, I'm not going to say him though.
I would. Yeah, I would because I would have said him. but you know what?
To me, he's not the obvious one.
Yeah, to me, he's probably, if not the obvious, he's probably like the second obvious.
You can pick him if you want,
I mean,
because then that means that my guy won't get picked. So
just that it's a boring answer. So like,
but I mean, if it's true, then
I mean,
yeah, and you can take what's accurate. I mean,
well, see, then and going by that, I'll give it to Saquon just because this team, this offense quite literally ran through him last year. And I think that if he's hurt this year, I don't think that Jalen's going to struggle. Like people say, oh, he can't throw or whatever. That's BS. But I think that if God forbid the Madden curse happens or if he just has a down year where he ends up with, like, let's say 1,500 yards versus 2,000. Like, if he doesn't get somewhere, between 18, like, I'd say for me, like, a down year for him is anything less than 1,800. So if he kind of falls somewhere, 15, 16, and Jalen has to throw more, I think you're going to see a little bit of a shift in the offense, and that might take them out of a groove. And I just think that if Kevin Patullo is saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it, then that means they're just going to keep pounding the rock with Saquon again this year. You just got to be smart about it, though, because you have A.J. Dillon and you have Will Shipley. So, and I want to see those guys get their touches too. So I want to see it, and that's also what could help last year. And also because, when we got down to the other side of the field, a lot of times, especially inside the red zone, they would take Saquon off the field to give him a breather, but you weren't putting anybody in except for Kenneth Gainwell, who had his moments, and maybe a snap or two of Will Shipley. And that wasn't good enough. That's why a lot of times the drives would stall out in the red zone. They still
but it's Kenneth Gainwell,
Yeah.
Let's be for
that's
real.
why that's why I like the addition of AJ Dillon, because he's better than Kenneth Gainwell. So so that's why, to me, if you're going to give Saquon a breather, that's the perfect guy to put in short yardage in the red zone. It's AJ Dillon. So I think that run the offense back through Saquon, yes, but don't think you have to give him like 40 touches a game. It's like he can do that, but you don't want to beat him up. But like, give him like that kind of around that 20 to 25 area, and let him eat. Let him do what he does. Anything less than that would be disappointment. Anything more than that would be overuse. So he's the X factor because he makes that offense go. And I love AJ, I love Devontae, I love Jalen, but last year, if it was not for him, the Eagles don't get to the Super Bowl, and that's just a fact. So I think that he's the X factor for me.
Yeah. Shane, go ahead.
Yeah. I think for me it's Jalen Carter. Because you look at, their biggest losses were on the edges for their D line. And so he's really going to have to be the anchor up front, even more so than he already, has been. And especially now, now there's no Brandon Graham. He's like, he's the guy. We know what they're going to be offensively. It's pretty much the same, other than what's his name? The guard. Oh my God, why am I blanking on it?
Tyler Steen is the starter at right.
Yeah, Tyler Steen right now.
No. Last year they.
Oh, but losing Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton. Oh my God.
Yeah,
losing my mind. Yes. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same. But defensively, there's going to be some changes, and I think it obviously it all starts in the trenches. So how is he going to be able to lead it and make him a successful unit?
I'm also going to go defense. I'm going to go Cooper DeJean. I'm really excited to see what he does year two. I think this secondary is really fun. It's just about how they mesh again in year two, because they're still quite young. But that excites me. This is one of the few teams where you can look at a cornerback room and go, yeah, that's good and young. Most teams that we'll talk about over these next few weeks, they're going to have young secondaries, but you're going to be like, I'm not too sure. This is a team you're very sure
I'm
about. So I'm
upset.
excited.
I'm really upset that I did not. That I just, for some reason, when I was saying Cooper DeJean like 3 times during my assessment of the team, why I didn't think of Reed Blankenship as the starting safety over Sidney Brown is like,
well. I mean, they have to do free and strong. So I mean, Sidney Brown's the starter at free right now. Which I mean, yeah, I'm fine with Reed, but I mean, what they do at free, we'll see with Sidney Brown and how he progresses.
it's gonna end up being Makuba. I think as the season goes on, they're gonna start. I think with Brown, but I don't think he's gonna last.
Yeah. Do we really quickly want to talk about Jake Elliott? Because I was debating saying Jake, because that was rough last year at times. I mean,
yeah, he definitely. There was about a game or two that he cost us from being the first seed. I mean, he was money in the Super Bowl though, but and Jake always ends up, no matter how rough of a season. Like that was his first really bad season. I don't think Jake's gonna have that happen again. I think he's too good of a kicker to let that happen again. But he's definitely, when the Eagles have needed him, he's come through. I mean, the Super Bowl, what do you have? It was like 3 extra points or 4 extra points, whatever it was, and like 2 or 3 field goals, and he drilled all of them. Pretty much right down the middle, except for one. I mean, but still. And I mean, on top of that, he's got the most. The most points for a kicker in Super Bowl history? I think it is too. So that's crazy to think about because he's played in 3 of them. But yeah, I would just like to see him next year because this year there was a game or two where he did cost them, and a couple games where the team had to pretty much score a touchdown to win because they could not trust his leg late. Well, there were just games where, he would make a kick late and the team would have to make a defensive stand on the other side of him making a kick because he'd only be up by 2 points instead of being up by 10 and the game being over because he can't make like 2 kicks a game. So, yeah, I think it's fair to put Jake in that conversation because he definitely needs to have a better year next year. Or I should say this year, but I think it's just a one-off. I don't think he's going to be that bad again. He was literally the worst kicker, I think, from 50-plus last year. So I don't think it's going to happen again. He's too good of a kicker to have that happen again.
Yeah.
That's from 50-plus. Like, that's, I mean,
that is true.
Plus, the Eagles played a lot of really shitty weather games last year.
Yeah, a lot of wind. Yeah, a lot of wind.
A lot of wind, rain, snow, just, all that. So
he's going to be one of the few kickers we'll mention in this whole exercise. Shane, let's move on to the Commanders. This defense still doesn't look that great going into Jane Daniels' second year.
No.
But go ahead, Shane,
it's I mean, their pass defense last year was pretty solid, just because they do have a great defensive line, and they have a couple of good corners. So that's, I mean, that's the recipe for a good pass defense, obviously. But they cannot stop the run to save their lives, and based off what they've done this offseason, I don't see that really improving much. I mean, yeah, you have Bobby Wagner, who's obviously great, but he is getting older. He's not as quick as he used to be. And I mean, I really don't like either of their safeties either. And so, I mean, I think their pass defense will be fine. They'll have a good pass rush. They'll be able to lock down receivers pretty well. But, and the other question would be like, what's going on with Terry McLaurin? I mean, I assume, like we were saying, he's they'll work out a deal because that's what always happens. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, they got a stud quarterback. We'll see if he can keep it up in year 2 or if, he has a sophomore slump. We'll see. They greatly improved the offensive line, with obviously picking up Laramie Tunzel. Then on top of that, you have like Sam Cosme, so on and so forth. So, I mean, it's, I think they won, what did they win, 12 last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this year, I would imagine they pull back slightly, probably win 11. Just because, I mean, when a rookie quarterback has that good of a season, they're bound to have a bit of a sophomore slump. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying history tells us that's probably likely.
It's a sophomore slump, but I think it's still a very good year. That's just how good of a quarterback he was last year.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think they probably win 11, wild card team yet again. I don't know that I see them making it back to the NFC Championship, but they'll be competitive. They'll be in the mix.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, go ahead with the Commanders.
Yeah, and I don't want to say just because I'm obviously this is my division and I hate the other 3 teams. I'm saying it because I think it's true. I mean, they didn't do anything to get better in the offseason. So, I mean, their big move was signing, was getting Von Miller, but Von Miller is washed at this point. So I don't think that's really going to make much of a difference. I mean, the main guys are still there. Like, Frankie Louvu is still there. I mean, Terry McLaurin, we assume pretty much that he'll be there.
Debo, obviously adding him.
Yeah, Debo, Marshawn Lattimore, what's his face, Mike Sainer still. Those guys just can't cover the Eagles offense. But I don't think that changes this year. I mean, they've got a nice receiver core. They actually do on paper. Just a lot of them are just not healthy. I mean, their running game is roughly the same. It's just gonna be a lot of Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr., but both of them are not healthy. Like, health is probably the biggest thing with this Washington team. Health and just, I mean, honestly, is like age. They have a lot of guys who are really young that are kind of in their second or third year, and then a lot of guys who are on their last leg. So, like, there's not really,
it's not a really great mix either. Like, it just feels a little weird. Yeah,
like Bobby, Bobby Wagner is Bobby. Like that, he's gonna be good. He always is, but like he's up there, and he didn't make a difference really late in the season for them. And then you have, I mean, Frankie Louvu was inconsistent. Mike Sainer still was inconsistent. He was good, but he was inconsistent. Marshawn Lattimore's overrated. So you've already got problems kind of in your kind of a little bit on your front, your front 7 and in your secondary. And they couldn't stop the run, but they didn't make any moves to bring in guys that can stop the run. So is it really going to change? I don't think so. They did kind of do a little bit to shore up the offensive line for Jaden Daniels, which is nice. But, especially drafting Josh Connerly. But I don't know if that's going to really be enough, especially when they play better teams that have good defenses. I don't know if that's really going to help a whole lot. And I just, like Shane said, I think Jaden Daniels, I mean, I don't think he's going to have a bad year. Like, I don't think he's going to have like a CJ Stroud year 2 where he just completely craps the bed. But I think that it's going to be a little bit of regression to where, like, a couple games that they won that they shouldn't have last year, like the game against Chicago, like that crazy finish, like Washington won about 2 or 3 games last year that they shouldn't have, not because of Jaden Daniels, because the other teams that they played just quit, thinking the game was over. And I think that if you kind of have a couple teams that will finish games against them, and if you have a little bit of a sophomore slump from Jay Nails, I won't say 11 wins. I'll say 10. Like they'll still be good enough to make the playoffs because they were really good last year. I don't think that changes, but I just can't see them winning this division when they didn't do anything to get better. And that's the problem. Like if they got better, I'd be like, oh, okay, Philly's got competition now for this division. But and they still kind of do. But I don't think I think Philly is reloaded, whereas Washington is just like we're just going to run it back, and that's the difference. So, and that's pretty much a 1 or 2 game difference in your division. Like I think it'll come down to late in the season, when they play each other. But I don't think it's going to be as close as if they finish with a tied record, who gets the tiebreaker, right? Or if they finish, a game apart. Like I think Philly wins the division by 2 games. And that's not even just being a homer, it's just based off the kind of the roster I see. I really think the Eagles' young guys are better than Washington's young guys. And then I think not only are they better, I just think that they just seem like, this is Super Bowl champs. They're not going to lay down and die. In the year following, in the follow-up year. So I think Washington is good. I think Jay Nails is really good. I just think that sophomore slump and not making the roster really better, really that much better, is going to be a little bit of a downfall for them. So they'll still be a wild card team, but I'm thinking about 10 wins.
Yeah.
They're very much the same.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%, very much the same.
X Factor, give me Laramie Tunzel.
What a move!
Yeah,
dude, great pickup. If if you're gonna make one change on your roster, going and getting a top 5 left tackle is definitely a good one. This is I think this was like their biggest issue last year, was even beyond the run defense, is just, hey, can we try to keep Jaden Daniels somewhat more upright? And this is a pretty good way to solve that. So at least get you part of the way there. So I love this move for Washington. I think it's going to be big for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if I'm thinking of X factors, I am not going to take. Well, it's it's another obvious guy, but I don't think it's. And it's going to be obvious for I guess the reason I'm going to say it, but my X factor is Debo, because they did not have a good. Their wide receiver core last year was just Terry McLaurin, and then a bunch of randoms.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason why, especially when it came to playing the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, the Eagles took Terry McLaurin pretty much away, except for maybe 1 or 2 deep shots, and then they did nothing else in that game. Nobody was open. So, I think Debo is going to have to be, I don't want to say it this way, but pre-fat Debo. and
like actually, 2021 Debo.
Yeah, 21, 22 Debo, where it's like, okay, this guy is going to be a weapon out of the backfield and on wheel routes. He's going to be a weapon, on crossers and things like that. You're going to have to use him like San Fran used him, but better. You're going to have to do better. But to me, because if you run this whole thing back like their roster pretty much is, with the exception of a couple guys like we've mentioned, if you're going to run this thing back, he's going to be the obvious pick for the X Factor, because they cannot go another season with just having Terry McLaurin carry the load. And that's no shade on Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz actually had a decent year last year, but he's not at his age. He's not going to be a 30-something-year-old tight end that's toward the end of his career is not going to be your second option on that offense. It can't be. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with that. That's just not happening.
It's not sustainable.
It's just not. So Debo to me has to be effective if they're going to A, try to make a push for the division, and B, they're just going to have to also just help Jaden Daniels out and help Terry McLaurin out so they're not just burnt out again of doing this again next year where they're the key, connection in the offense, but then there's nothing else. So then when Jaden Daniels is throwing to other guys, the other guys are like, while Terry McLaurin's averaging, 10 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you got like Noah Brown, who has like 2 catches for 8 yards in the game, and then you realize why Jaden Daniels is running for almost 100 yards a game, like a Lamar Jackson. Like that's just not sustainable when you get to later parts of the season and you're fatigued. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does, but he's got to be shades of early San Fran Debo if they're going to go far this year and at least get back to the NFC Championship game this year.
Yeah. I was debating this for a while. I'm going to go Marshawn Lattimore because the one thing that pissed me off about this team last year more than anything, so much holding by the corners just as a whole. It was so annoying the entire year how handsy they were. And some of it wasn't entirely Lattimore, of course, because he was injured for most of the year, but like just guys, keep your hands to yourself. Like play coverage because this secondary on paper doesn't look good, but part of the reason why is because they gave up so many yards off penalties last year that were killer in big situations. So they have to shore that up for sure.
We have to go back to kindergarten. Hands to yourselves, please.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys. Can we talk about Jerry Jones? I think that's all we have to talk about, right? Right, Brandon? Like, let's just talk about Jerry Jones because that's all we did last year. We're talking about the Cowboys, and that's all we're doing this offseason, apparently.
Yeah, Jerry even said, what was it, I think today or yesterday, he was saying when they were asking him about Micah Parsons and the contract, and he was saying something to the point of like, ultimately it's his decision. I'm like, what do you mean? You can give him, you can pay him, right? Like, it's Micah Parsons. He is your defense. So I don't understand why Jerry is like acting like it's out of his hands. You are literally the owner. You have the final say on everything. I don't understand what the disconnect is here.
By the way, the important thing with that is who got the trade request first, Steven, not Jerry.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
I mean,
yep.
as much as I would love Micah Parsons to not be in the division anymore, but at the same time, I'm also thinking about this too, is that Micah's great, but he disappears in the second half of the year every year. So, I mean, that's just been his game, where it's like, oh, yeah.
He's very streaky.
Yeah, he's a streaky, he's like, yeah, is he really good? Yes. But he definitely burns himself out the first half of the year. It's like, oh, yeah, the first 8 games, he has 11 sacks. And then all of a sudden he finishes with like 13 sacks. And it's like, oh, yeah, the numbers look good, but he had 2 sacks the second half of the year. He did nothing. So, that's been his game since he's been in the league. So, is he great? Yes. But he's another one. Like, honestly, he might end up, I'm not saying he is right now, but he might end up by the end of me thinking about this, he might end up being my X factor. But I just think that Jerry has done everything in his power, and we know this, to just royally screw over his own franchise for the last 30 years. And it's insane. I don't understand why. Like, it's just like when you have somebody who's unfit to do their job, and they are this old, and they are this senile, and they just are oblivious to all the problems that their franchise has. And it's like someone's got to tell them, hey, you might want to take a step back, or hey, I'm just going to Steven's got to tell him, hey, like, come on, Dad, enough's enough. Like that, like.
Are we allowed to take owners as an X factor? Because I'm like, I don't even want to look at this roster because I don't care.
I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about this roster. I don't care about how this team looks because every Cowboys fan is gonna be like, we're Super Bowl champions and we're gonna win the Super Bowl and all this stuff. And it's just okay. Then why is your owner spewing off crap every Sunday night? And we always have to talk about it That's all we
Like,
did
that's what
last
he
year. We
always
talked about
does.
the Cowboys. That's all we did
Yeah.
last year when we talked about the Cowboys. That's all we did. We just talked about Jerry.
Yeah.
We
And
never
you know
talked
what's
about the
funny?
roster. We never talked about what they did on the field. Almost never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yep. And you know what else it is too is like everybody keeps harping on the fact like, oh, you know, CeeDee Lamb's got help now. Dak's got help now. I'm like, okay, but what does that get them when it matters? Like, I'm tired of everybody talking about, well, especially Cowboys fans. I mean, they're delusional. We know this, but you know, they talk about Dak as if he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm like, Dak has had some great receivers in his time in Dallas, and he's done nothing with any of them.
And great offensive lines.
Yeah, and some really good offensive lines. He even had
Some old time ones, honestly.
Until now.
Until now. Yeah.
That's why I'm tired of talking about the Cowboys. Like everybody's like, oh my god, you know, like to me, you know what it feels like when I see this roster and I look at, you know, everybody talks about, oh well, you know, when Brandon Cooks, you know, because I remember when Brandon Cooks came to Dallas, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's Brandon Cooks. I'm like, okay, what you gonna do? Nothing. You know, George Pickens is nice, but what's gonna happen when he has another crash out on the field in week 3? All right, so or you know, no, not even week 3, the third snap in week 1
Against you.
Yeah, yeah, he'll try to fight Queen Mitchell. Yeah, let's see how that goes. You know, but it's I don't understand when I look at the Cowboys that their only move. I mean they drafted a couple guys, whatever, but it's not anybody I'm really kind of like thinking it's going to have a big impact this year.
Jaden Blue? I mean, that's probably it.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, their running back room is terrible right now. It's just a bunch of veterans. Just a bunch of pretty much guys, just veterans.
Blue looks very, very good. Blue looks very, very good. He's going to start at some point in the year.
I still don't understand the reasoning behind drafting him when you shouldn't have gotten rid of oh my god, why is he escaping me right now?
Of Tony Pollard?
No. After last year.
Oh my god, it's escaping me too.
My brain is not
Ezekiel Elliott. No, I'm kidding.
I wish.
Oh my god, what is his name? Oh Jesus.
We're literally still in off-season mode right now.
That's embarrassing.
Where's my brain? I talked about him last year too at nauseum. Oh my god, I have to look
Rico Dowdle?
Oh Jesus, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Where? Okay, wait. I'm sorry. We're being terrible podcast hosts. Where is he now?
He's in Carolina. Basically, because he got scalped pretty much from Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
But
they probably shouldn't have gotten rid of Rico.
He was 1,000-yard rusher last year. He averaged 4.6 yards a carry.
Had a great second half.
Yeah, an absolutely great second half. I don't understand. The thing is, he's really in the prime of his career. He just turned 27 in June, so I don't understand why you would have gotten rid of him because I'm not scared of Miles Sanders who has the vision of a 2-year-old and Javonte Williams who's iffy at best. Like he has some good games, but is iffy at best. And so you're banking everything on Jaden Blue.
It's good. Yeah, it's gonna be Blue. There's no way it's gonna be Blue. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be Blue.
And the thing is, they don't even have an offensive line now that will help him. That will create holes for him. There's no offensive line in Dallas this year. So
yeah, it's really bad. Oh my god.
So everybody keeps talking about, I can't wait to see Dak with CD and George Pickens. And I'm like, okay, but that's not going to matter if he has 1 second to throw the ball after the ball is snapped and he's got 3 guys in his face. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god. Yeah.
I can't see, that's why, Dallas. And the thing is, too, even if George Pickens has a great year, I don't think their defense is good enough to win, to sustain leads if their offense gets out to a lead. I don't think that their defense is good enough to sustain anything. So I feel like the offense would have to score 30 plus points a week, and while their defense is giving up like 27, 28 points plus a week.
Yeah,
I
have
don't
fun.
Yeah.
like I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think what they have right now is sustainable. So like, seven. I don't think they'll go. They're not going to go 7-10 again, but they're probably going to be 8-9. I would think 9-8. Maybe make a seven. Maybe a 7 seed. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't. They're not going to win double digit games. There's just no way in hell they're going to win double. I mean, if they do, it'd be a miracle. But anything's possible. But I can't see with that roster and how poorly they are run and how poorly Brian Schottenheimer has looked in training camp as the face of the team.
Oh
this
my
year.
God.
I can't see how that team is going to. You know what? I'm not even going to say 9 wins. I'll say 8 at best because they had no quarterback last year. Dak will win them probably one or another game or so, but I don't think it's going to be much more than 8 wins. I cannot see it. They are not good enough on paper to make any moves. Their biggest move of the offseason was George Pickens. But there's only so much it's going to help the offense. I mean, it's going to help it a little bit, but they don't have a running game. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have a defense, really. So what's that going to get you when your biggest thing this year is you're just banking on Dak having a 5,000-yard season? And it's gonna be like Joe Burrow and the Bengals last year, where Burrow had
much worse.
Yeah, so it's like I don't see how that's gonna make a real big difference. So I don't think I think they win 8 games, and I think that's probably where they're gonna sit. I mean, maybe Dak wins them a 9th, but they're definitely not winning double digits. If they do, I don't know what the bet would be, like what I would do as a punishment, but I don't think that they're gonna win double. There's just no way. They're not good enough to.
I'm going to look up their over-under for wins, just out of curiosity. But
it's probably at 9.
I think Dallas is probably going to win 4 or 5 games this year. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
I'll be real. I've kind of the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that. Is that because Colin Cowherd said they're going to win 2 because Schottenheimer's wearing a visor the wrong way?
That's
no, I did not see that.
Wait,
what do you mean? What do you mean Schottenheimer was wearing a visor the wrong way?
Like
he wore it backwards. He wore it backwards.
He was?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
Oh my God, no. That's oh.
Oh.
Who wears a visor backwards? That's like
put it this way. If all Mike McCarthy did was get 12 wins out of the Cowboys and they still couldn't get to an NFC Championship game or barely even get to the divisional round, what do you think Brian Schottenheimer's going to do?
The over-under at BetMGM is 7.5.
Yeah, it's about right. I said 8. I think they top out at 8. That's the top.
I'm taking the under there. No, you know what a backwards visor is? That's a 50-year-old guy who peaked in high school and now hangs out at a local bowling alley trying to be cool. So that's God. And you're representing the
Dallas Cowboys,
the biggest football brand in America. Yeah, that's wow.
In the world.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, Dallas, I mean, look, God. I think they have, in my opinion, they have 4 good players. Micah Parsons, Deron Bland, CeeDee Lamb, and when healthy, Dak Prescott. Problem is, everybody, when you think of the Dallas Cowboys, they have an amazing offensive line and all this jazz, but, guys like Tyron Smith and Lael Collins and Zach Martin, yeah, well, guess what? They're all gone. So now you have nothing. And we know that Dak has injury problems to begin with. And so the fact that he's now going to be struggling to stay upright, I mean, God forbid, but I'm just saying, doesn't look great for him. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. everyone's, oh, they got George Pickens. Wow, what a great pickup. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, like Brandon said, if the dude can't stay upright, then like who gives a
Doesn't
shit?
matter.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, I think they would. Not to mention, I mean, Brian Schottenheimer. What are we doing? Like, seriously, the dude's not even a good coordinator. He gets fired everywhere he goes. So who in their right mind was like, you know what? I'm going to make that guy my head coach.
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, because he's not in his right mind. He's a senile, racist old man. All right. So
give me Jerry Jones from X. It's not a player, but goddamn, all we're gonna do when we talk about the Cowboys is talk about Jerry.
I think you're right. That's that. He's my X factor.
Can we just unanimously give it to Jerry and call it a night? I mean,
yes,
there's nothing.
Jerry, step down, please. Good night.
God, man, Jesus Christ. Just wait till after the Eagles Cowboys game when the Eagles win by a good amount, 14 points or whatever, and then start talking about Jerry.
We don't want people in their 80s to be working unless they're the president or an owner of a football team, apparently. So, like
that's very true.
Not wrong.
Like let's just nip this in the bud and move on. All right.
Yep.
I think they're going to finish last in the division
over the Giants.
Oh, absolutely. At least the Giants have a defense.
That's true.
That's not a bad thought.
And now, well, okay. Can we just roll into the Giants now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Because I got a whole other spiel on them. All right. Look, here's no. Listen, okay. Honestly, the Giants, outside of quarterback and offensive line, they have a pretty solid roster. Like, I mean, it's not amazing, but like, you got guys like Brian Burns.
This receiving core isn't that good, minus Malik.
Malik Neighbors is great, but like, I think the wide receiver position, especially in the NFL, is extremely overvalued. When you look at all the best receivers in the league, they're not as big of a difference maker as most other positions. I mean, a lot of people would consider A.J. Brown like the probably fourth or fifth best receiver, but I mean, let's be honest. The Cowboys. Oh my God, the Eagles.
Jerry is infecting our minds.
The Eagles did not get as far as they did, in my opinion, at all, because of A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, it was because of the consistency from Jalen Hurts, Saquon, the offensive line, and the defense.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a whole side topic. They got Malik Neighbors, a couple other guys. They're fine. I'm not, whatever. But then, on defense, you got like Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence. I mean, that's a really good pass rush right there.
They picked up pretty good. They picked up Odebo and Holland, so that secondary is going to be fun this year.
Yeah, really good secondary too. And the difference, I think, between this year and last year is, last year their quarterback situation was Haniel Donez, otherwise known as Daniel Jones, who, he looks like Eli Manning's, 90 IQ younger brother.
I am not excited to talk about the Colts this year, dude.
And then
absolutely
me neither. But so you have him, Tommy DeVito, whose agent looks like the Boston Celtics logo, and then you have with Drew Lock, which I love Drew. I know him personally, great guy, but when you're relying on him to be your starter, that's not a great sign. No offense, Drew, love you. But anyways.
Can I move that to this quarterback room being as weird as Russell Wilson, James Winston, and Jackson Dart?
That's bizarre.
This is so funny. I mean, okay, first of all, Russell Wilson. All three. I would take all three of these guys over the three guys they had last year.
Oh, of course,
all of them. So I mean, right away, your quarterback play is going to be way better. The problem still is just the offensive line, really, mostly. And even with the improved quarterback play, it's not like it's going to be great anyways. So, I do like Andrew Thomas, their
left tackle.
He's got to stay healthy, though.
Yep.
Right. But besides him, this line's pretty bad. So, so they what did they win last year?
4?
Did they win 4?
Why can't I remember?
I'm looking right now.
No,
Either way.
They won 3. They won 3. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just
Not
because
the-
they have more stability at quarterback, I feel like this year they're probably going to win like
5.
5, yeah, maybe 6.
Do we think Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston is stability? It's just weird.
I mean,
Dude,
it's better than Daniel Jones and Tommy
Daniel
DeVito.
Jones and Tommy Cutlets? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's better than that, but by how much? I don't know.
Like I
by
can't,
a lot.
I can't wait to see a game where Russell Wilson wins it like a 10-7 game by 150 yards passing and 1 touchdown and 1 pick, and then the next week they pivot to Jameis Winston who has 400 yards, 4 TDs, and 6 interceptions and loses the game.
Yep.
And he has like, dude, just imagine the locker room speeches between the two of those guys. I mean, you have Jay, like, no, I mean seriously, like you have Jameis who's like just on an island when he's speaking, and then Russ who's also on an island, but for a completely different reason. He's just like Mr. Optimism. It's like, this team could be down 50-0. He's like, all right, guys, let's go win this game. I know there's some people in the locker room who are just like, dude, shut up. Like, it's, like, anyways. Yeah, I think Giants I think my order is going to be Eagles win it about 12-5. The Commies get second about, 11-6. And then, Giants probably win. I'll give them 6. I'll be nice. Get third place, and then Dallas wins 4 and finishes dead last in this division. X Factor player, give me. God.
Have fun winning all your games, Brandon, against the Giants and the Cowboys.
I guess I'm going Russ. I mean, that's the biggest difference this year. So,
yeah,
just can he make this offense not look so anemic? That's really what I want to know. So,
Brandon, go ahead with the Giants and your X Factor.
Yeah, I feel like Shane. The Giants won't do a whole lot. They're just not going to. I mean, they're going to win a few more games because of their quarterback, but that's really it. I mean, a lot of Giants fans, and even on our Fox 5 station here, they keep like the freaking sports desk keeps saying like that they want Jackson Dart to start later in the to start at least half the season. I'm like, no, he's not going to. Unless this team starts 0-6, he's not going to.
That would be incredibly poorly mismanaged.
There's also Jameis ahead of him too. So
yeah. So there's literally no point.
Starting.
Jackson Dart will be the QB3 for the whole year. I'm pretty confident in saying that.
It would be like a Brock Purdy level event in 2022.
Yeah. Well,
they both get hurt, and then
I just can't see a world where I get Giants fans being optimistic, but he's not going to start this year, unless the world ends, which it could because the Giants. But
I mean Jackson.
Do you want MetLife to blow up, Brandon? Is that what you're saying? Just blow it up?
Because then who else are the Eagles going to beat twice a year? They're an automatic 2 wins every year for us. And besides, yeah, but
we don't talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's just written off. Um, but like
Lost
historically,
into the ether.
historically in the last 20 years, even when the Giants had their two, that's the thing too. As a little side topic, Giants fans love to flex their 2 rings, but outside of those 2 years and what they were both wild card years for them.
Yeah.
Outside of those 2 years where you just had an insane run, it's been a garbage
Dumpster fire.
franchise since the early '90s. They've been awful.
Even
It's
those
so
two
bad.
rings, they got extremely lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You happen to beat the greatest,
Just saying.
one of the greatest team of all time, and because of a prayer ball that Eli throws up to David Tyree, and then you just, I mean, you do it again pretty much a few years later. But I think that when it comes to the Giants, I mean, yeah, they won 3 last year. I think I'm about the same. I think they win 5. Um, I still think they finished last in the division just because I just think that a healthy Dak is better than anything the Giants have, and so I think Dak will give the Cowboys a few more wins. But I don't think it's going to be by much. Like, it won't matter. They probably won't make the playoffs. Like, those two teams won't make the playoffs anyway. So I just think that, I mean, honestly, their biggest X factor probably is I'm going to say it's Andrew Thomas, because when he's on the field, he's great. Problem is, he was not healthy at all last year. Um, and that line, the line's bad, but with him, he made it look serviceable by himself.
Yeah.
So
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one guy can do that. So to me, it's like if they're gonna have any chance of like doing anything, which they won't, but if they had a chance, it's him. He's gonna have to stay healthy. Because you don't want Evan Neal to have to play on this line for an extended period of time, for like a long extended period of time, especially at that position, at the left tackle position. So that's huge to me. I would say Cam Scatterbo, like their running back room makes no sense to me either.
Tyrone! I love Tyrone. Tyrone's my X factor. I love Tyrone. I love Tyrone Tracy. I'm giving it to him. I think he's gonna be great this year.
Like, I don't get what the purpose. Like, he had a good rookie year last year, but he was behind an awful offensive line. It's like,
Yeah,
why
that
you
was the only
so,
issue.
And so it's like, are you drafting? I guess they're drafting Cam Scatterbo to be the running back 2. I guess.
The future running back too, probably. Yeah.
So like, because why else would you draft him? But to me, like I had 2 X factors, but to me the main X factor is Andrew Thomas. But I don't see anything here that I really like. I really like. I don't. I see a couple guys that had good years last year, but I think like Paulson Adebo is gonna be real nice, but they just don't have the firepower overall. Like, yeah, their defensive line is great, but we talk about how good their defensive line was last year. It didn't stop Saquon Barkley from rushing for basically 200 yards on them at MetLife. So I don't think it's gonna matter all that much. It'll keep them in games, yes, but that offense is gonna be just typical Giants football. Good defense, but their offense is gonna score 13 points a game, and they're gonna lose 16-13. So it's like it.
Brian Dable and Joe Shane are both going to get fired. Sorry for interrupting, Brandon, but they're probably both going to get canned, right?
It's a shame because they gave Brian Dable absolutely nothing to work with, and he's going to be scapegoated. Yeah. And Giants fans don't like him, and I don't know why. I know
Dable
why.
Dable should not be fired.
No, he shouldn't. Joe Shane should have been fired.
Joe Shane should. Yeah. No, yeah, he sucks, but
I mean, like, I for the life of me, I can't. I understand that New York City, that aren't my area, is all about results. Like, we already see what the dumpster fire that the Yankees and Mets are going through right now, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna like be so terrible." Like, even when the season starts, the minute the Yankees or Mets have like a 3-game losing streak, they're like, "Fire everybody, sell the team." I'm like, okay, come. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. But I can tell when the Yankees are terrible. Like, with the Giants, I always think of Giants fans and like, oh, I hate Brian Dable. I'm like, why do you hate him? It's not his fault.
They have nothing to work with.
Dude,
I tell
he
our
won
I
a
tell our TCA boys that's all the time too. I tell all the TCA guys, I'm like, I don't know why you hate him because he's actually a good coach. He's what made Josh Allen who he is. You just gave him nothing to work with.
Yeah, and he literally won a road playoff game with Daniel Jones as his quarterback. Like,
Thank you. Thank
dude,
you.
that's
Yeah.
that's like some Andy Reid level work right there. That's
Yes.
But before we move on, Shane, are we doing the South divisions next week?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Or on
Well,
this
because
weekend, I mean.
we got to get him out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like
Please, can we please just
it's
make that like the quickest show ever?
yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's gonna be a fast one.
please make it a fast weekend show. Okay. Shane, I'll get you started on the Buffalo Bills. You can open up the AFC side overnight. Do they win the Super Bowl?
Well,
Can
I
they
mean,
get there? Can they get to the Super Bowl?
I think they're my current AFC favorite. They got really close last year. And and they're, I mean, I look at the Chiefs, which is obviously the team that, stopped them ultimately. And I think they're taking some steps down. And, I I look at Buffalo and, their secondary could use some work. Their receivers are, a little weak, but, it's like, did it really matter that much for them last year? No. You look at the top, basically 3 teams in the AFC last year: Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best receiver between all 3 of those teams? Like, I don't. Rasheed Rice, he wasn't even playing. Like, I don't, it's just
Probably
it's
Zay
not.
Flowers, but that's it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't matter as much when you have, a guy like Josh Allen as your quarterback, a really good offensive line, a really good defensive line, and you're, well, and just a good front seven in general. And when you have a solid run game, which they do, and they need to lean on it, James Cook.
If please resign him for God's sake.
Yeah,
please resign him.
So, that's I think if they can use, well, okay. Full transparency, my X Factor player is James Cook, because if they actually use him properly instead of just relying on Josh Allen to play hero ball, they should win the AFC. I don't.
There's no reason why they shouldn't, honestly.
Yeah,
are the Chiefs any better this year?
No.
I think they're worse this year.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are worse. I think Buffalo, we all thought they were going to be worse last year because it was like, oh, they lost Stephon Diggs and this, that, and no, they were better. Like, and that's another thing about the receiver. Like, every time a team loses their star receiver, it's like they almost get better. Look at the Chiefs with Tyreek Hill, the Bills now, I don't know. Anyways, so I don't hate wide receivers. I'm just like, I'm just tired of how much value everybody's putting on the position.
You're just making a point on it.
That's besides the point. I think I need to look at their schedule. I can't tell you how many. What's their over/under right now, Robert? Do you have it?
I will check. We honestly should have just done over/unders, but it's fine. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. I need to look at their schedule because
their over/under is come on.
I've got their schedule right now.
Their
I'm
over
looking at
under
it.
is 11.5.
Ooh.
Over.
Yeah, it should be
I'm
over.
going over here for sure.
Oh, this is not difficult.
No. The Ravens game to start the season is, but Jets,
And then
Dolphins,
Eagles.
Saints, Pats, like they literally have what 6 easy wins after week 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
this should be like probably 13 wins, I would imagine.
let's see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have basically 6 free wins after week 1. They should start the season 6-1.
Yeah,
They play the Chiefs, which I think they probably win that game. 7-1. They play Dolphins again. I think they sweep them 8-1. They play the
Yeah, they
Bucks.
usually beat the Chiefs in the regular season.
Yeah, then the Bucks, they'll probably lose that game 8-2. Texans, they win that game probably. I mean, Texans do give them a fight sometimes, so maybe 9-2. Steelers should be 10-2. Bengals would probably be a close one. I'll give them a loss there. Well, no, they're home.
They'll lose one of those in there.
Yeah, so realistically, like what they top out at 14-3.
Yeah,
maybe
so
13,
you bet the over there.
Yeah.
Brendan, anything else on Buffalo for you?
No, they're my, just like Shane said, they're my AFC favorite. I know Kansas City, until someone knocks Kansas City off, it's Kansas City, but it feels like the things that we've been saying about Kansas City since 2023 are finally like true. They don't like that they're just declining every year. Travis Kelce's not the same. There's still no wide receiver core. Their O-line's not great. There's still no running. Pacheco's okay, but he's either injured or sometimes he's just streaky.
And their O-line got even worse.
Yeah, like it's really
No
just
joke,
it's
yeah.
really just like the Chiefs at this point are just Mahomes' devil magic and their defense. That's really all it is at this point. Like there's no
Yep.
more Tyreek. There's no more Tyreek Hill. It's not Kelsey in his prime. It's so that doesn't matter to me. Like they're not going to score. Their offense is not built to score a ton of points. Their offense is going to score maybe 21 to 24 points a week max, and then their defense is going to do all the work, and that's why they're going to win games like 24 to 13 or something like that. But I think when they play real teams like the Bills, like a Baltimore, I think that you're gonna see who the Chiefs really are. Like, I mean, if you look at the numbers even for Mahomes has taken a step back each of the last 2 seasons. A big,
he hasn't been good.
Not even just a small step back, a big step back. So, and come playoff time, he really is not a good quarterback. If you look at the numbers, Mahomes is not a good quarterback come playoff time. He's not.
Especially in the Super Bowl.
If you're wondering why we're talking about the Chiefs when we're talking about the Bills, because they're just intertwined. That's just facts. They're just you can't talk about Buffalo without talking about Kansas City.
Was it like
and vice versa?
Yeah, like was it 3 years ago when I was writing articles for for the first time for Rob and I with our internship. One of the first articles I wrote, but at that time it was right after like their second meeting, and I wrote an article literally about Mahomes versus Allen. Is it the new Brady versus Manning? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. I would argue it's better because those games are so damn good.
So like. It stinks because Lamar is like in like that conversation, but Lamar is not the playoff performer that like he's not like Mahomes is not a great playoff performer, but he's better than Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. And then Josh Allen's the best playoff performer of the 3 of them. But I just don't see a world where like if it just feels like this is the year where Buffalo finally puts it together. And I feel like that it's just going to end up they're finally going to climb that mountaintop and get over that hump of beating Kansas City. Because those are the 3 teams that are tied together is Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Baltimore to me, we'll talk about them later, but Lamar Jackson, like out of all 3 quarterbacks, who would I take in the playoffs? It's without a doubt just performance based, it's Josh Allen. So
we're not talking about them winning games. We're talking about them performing in the playoffs. I just want to stipulate that.
Yeah, because Josh Allen throws too much and nobody's in the playoffs. Mahomes has thrown to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce for not all of his career, but most of his career. And even then, Mahomes is not the playoff performer like Josh Allen is. It's a big difference.
And then Lamar is third, easily.
Yeah, and Lamar's a distant third in terms of playoff performances anyway. So, and then we'll end up talking about Joe Burrow because he's obviously in that top 4 conversation. But it just feels like the Bills. This feels like the year where it's like this is now or never to me with them. It's like, okay, this seems like it's not your last shot to make the Super Bowl. Forget winning it, just make it. But
it's getting close, though. It's getting very close year on year.
It feels like that window, like this, like when we were saying about the Niners getting to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, well, in 2023, we were saying that was their best shot to win, and then their window closed. Like, I don't think the window's going to close that fast on Buffalo, but I feel like this is their best shot to get there. If they don't,
it is wide open right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
Super Bowl
this
window.
feels like this has to be it. So I don't know, what it's going to look like, but I definitely think. I mean, they were 13-4 last year. Their schedule is really easy this year, outside of 3 or 4 games. So I think they're probably going to end up on the low end, with just having the same record again. I think they end up getting the. I think the playoffs run through Buffalo. And that's going to help for Buffalo's sake if Kansas City or even Baltimore comes to play them in Buffalo in the cold,
in the snow,
in 2 feet of snow
with Bills Mafia.
Yeah, I mean because that's what helped Philly last year, because Northeast winters are brutal. So it's going to be different. It's going to be no different if the Bills end up getting home field plus the bye. I think if I had to give an X factor,
are we all taking James Cook?
I mean, it should be, right? Because how many times on different shows have we said for the last 2 years, run the damn ball with James Cook, please? So, and the thing is, they don't do it. Like they're sitting back wondering why they lose games, 30 to 27, when James Cook is getting 12 touches the entire game. Why? Because if you give him more touches, you control time of possession, because that's what Philly does. They run the ball a lot. Though you have a good running back in James Cook, who's a 2-time Pro Bowler back-to-back years. You have a guy that can be a 1,500-plus yard rusher every single year if you just give him the damn football. So there's no reason.
And your defense is less exhausted.
That too, and that was a big problem last year, because their secondary was terrible. I mean, it was terrible to begin with, but it didn't help when you were having 1.5 minute scoring drives. You were scoring so fast, but your defense is on the field constantly. So or there were stretches where it was in games where I think they would go 3 and out for 3 straight drives. So then your defense is giving up 13 points on 3 drives, and all of a sudden you're down by 10 late in the game. So the X factor to me also it just has to be James Cook, because if you don't run the ball with him, it's going to be another year, like you were saying, Shane. It's going to be another year of Josh Allen playing hero ball, another year where he's going to have to do everything for that entire offense. And how much more? He's the reigning NFL MVP. How much more can he take? If he just keeps taking hit after hit after hit, it builds up. So I don't understand why they wouldn't run the ball more. You're going to have to. And the thing is, if you've learned anything from watching the reigning Super Bowl champions, they ran the ball a ton. You know how Baltimore got far last year? They ran the ball a ton. So, the Chiefs keep saying, not Chiefs. The Bills keep saying, we can't get over the hump of beating the Chiefs. But you have a running back that you don't use. Maybe use him and see what happens.
Yeah,
definitely. The Miami Dolphins, they have, let's go week 9 on, home against Baltimore, Buffalo, international game against Washington, home against New Orleans, at the Jets, at Pittsburgh, home against Cincinnati, home against Tampa, at New England. They're literally at home a good chunk of the second half of the year, which is pretty big for Miami, Brandon.
Yeah.
Lucky how that worked out.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing, though. I still don't trust the Dolphins as far as I can throw them. Because it's still Miami. Like, they are still, I'm looking at their schedule. It's like the first half of the year is all, I mean, just like the Bill. For some reason, the AFC East plays each other a lot the first half of the year. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing, because literally the Dolphins have 3 straight games against the division. Three out of their first 4 games against the division, but 3 straight from week 2 to week 4 in the division. And they're all, what are these? And 2 of them are primetime games. Oh, good God.
Good grief.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna have 3 cold weather games.
Yeah, but even
so, they're so early in the year, it's not going to matter.
Like, should they beat the Colts? Yes. Should they beat the Patriots? Maybe. Should they beat the Bills? No. Should they beat the Jets? Yes. Beat the Panthers? Maybe.
Yeah.
Chargers? Yes. No. Chargers? No. Browns?
Maybe.
Yes.
Falcons? Should. Maybe. Ravens? No. Bills again? No. Commanders? No. Saints.
In international waters, by the way, for that one, in Washington, so have fun.
Yeah, but then again, like Saints, yes. Jets again, yeah. They usually split, don't they usually split with the Jets?
They're going to split with everybody in the division, probably minus Buffalo.
Yeah, Steelers, maybe.
Wait, their game against Washington's in Madrid, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it'll be a little chilly there.
Yeah, and then
in mid-November.
Isn't Real Madrid's stadium covered? Though.
Oh, is it?
I don't even. It might. I think it might.
I don't watch soccer.
I think the Bernabeu is covered. So
I mean, but then you look at but then here's the thing: you look at the three of their last 4 games, right? Well, one of them is in Pittsburgh in December. Loss. Because Pittsburgh's defense.
By the way, why is that Monday Night Football?
Well, first of all, Week 14, December 7th, at the Jets.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold there.
And up here it's cold, yeah.
And then at Pittsburgh. And then at New England, Week 18. That's going to be brutal.
Yeah. Look at these national TV games, bro. Holy crap.
So I don't think the Dolphins. I definitely don't think the Dolphins catch as much of a break as we think they do. Like, it seems like on the surface that they do, but like, well, I'll just say right now what my X factor is. It's Tua, because if he's not healthy, who gives a shit? So
we're all going Tua.
It has to be Tua. It has to be Tua, because if Tua's not healthy, then it doesn't matter who they play, where they play them, doesn't matter what planet they play them on, it won't matter.
Does anyone consider Darren Waller an X factor?
No.
He was an X factor 6 years ago, not now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. The Dolphins, to me, on the high end, win 8 games. Like, I don't think they win much more. I don't think they're good enough to win much more than that. Like, listen, if Tua's healthy, the offense can do good things, but also, Mike McDaniel's also not the guy that, people think he is anymore. He's not the offensive genius people think he is anymore. I don't see it. And we said that last year. And they do have a tough schedule, really, in the middle a little bit, and definitely towards the end of the year, last 3-4 games. So I don't think. And the thing is, the Dolphins, they just put on a lot of stinkers when it comes to prime time, and they have a few this year. So
they have way too many, by the way.
Yeah. They have quite a few. So I can't see them really doing anything special. I mean, if Tua's healthy, the Tua can carry them to eight wins, but that's being, I think, generous. I mean,
Uh,
last year without
Dolphins
him, they won.
Dolphins over under is 8.5. Sorry, Brandon, 8.5 for the Dolphins.
Yeah, no, that's under. There's no way they're going to win 9, 10 games. It's not happening. Um, they were 8-9 last year, but I just don't think the Dolphins are good. I think that's kind of what they are at this point. They're an 8-9 football team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Suresh.
Yeah.
But but I just I can't see them, going toe to toe with Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, uh, Cincy. Like those are 4 losses right there.
Yeah.
And Buffalo twice, so really 5. And then you split with the Jets, so that's 6. And you split with the Patriots, that's already 7. So you already have 7. Like realistically, you already have 7 losses on your plate before you even play anybody else.
Yeah.
So I can't see how they're gonna win any more than 8. So yeah, I'm not excited for it. It all depends on Tua's health and on his performance because even when he was healthy last year, he didn't play well. So we'll see, but he's the X factor because it all just rides on him. Are you healthy or are you going to go down in week 2 with another concussion? God forbid. We don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And that's the issue because, when you look at this team, it's like, here's the thing. The head coach, Mike McDaniel, people finally are starting to see with him what I have seen with him from the beginning. I always thought the dude was a fraud, but we're not going to get into that. Look, I know it's kind of a meme at this point that like, oh, the Dolphins don't play well in cold weather, but like, it's true. They don't.
It's not a meme. They don't.
Because and like, and it makes sense because I mean their offense is predicated entirely on speed and on passing deep. Guys like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, who are just fast. Devon Achane, their running back, one of the fastest running backs in the league. It's just quick, but well, not to mention their quarterback is from Hawaii and played college football in Alabama, so he's not used to cold, obviously. And they live and play in Miami, where it's 80 and humid every day. So, it's just, yeah. Anyways. But it's great to be fast and quick and flashy and all that. But the problem is, when it comes time for bad weather or just cold in general, fast and quick will never beat strong and tough.
Yeah.
And when we see this year after year with Miami, we saw, what was it, the wild card playoff game, not last year, but the year before, when they were in Kansas City. And like, Tyreek Hill couldn't even get open because Jerry Sneed was just jamming him at the line. And it was like
-2 degrees,
right? And
which is rare, but still, it's still. But
that's the thing. I mean, right? I mean, but that's the thing. It's like because Sneed, yeah, he's a corner, but he's big, he's strong for a corner, So, anyways, yeah, that's. I mean, as far as Miami's defense, I mean, I like the D line. But the back 7, other than Minka, is pretty bad. I think getting rid of Jalen Ramsey, trading Jalen Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick, I think is a mistake.
What a weird trade!
It is a very strange trade. I think for both teams, but
it was so weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick is he's English. He's a great safety, but I would rather have a good corner than a good safety. And
Yeah.
and I hate to say that as a former safety myself and a current safety coach, but corner is just a more important position. So but whatever, that's that they did it. So and then and this isn't okay. And the biggest elephant in the room, Teron Armstead, their amazing left tackle and really only good offensive lineman, just kind of unexpectedly retired in the offseason. Yeah. That's going to be bad because this is a weak offensive line. They're going to have a rough time keeping Tua upright. And that worries me with a guy like him because we know the kind of, injuries and bad health history Tua has, especially with concussions. But, I'm just afraid he's going to get pelted back there and it's going to be ugly. I think they'll look, decent in the first 2 months of the season, like they usually do. But then when it starts getting colder and Tua takes more and more and more hits, and they're just going to be totally exposed, and I think they'll have an awful second half of the season. And and then they probably, you have the great first half and the terrible second half, and you just kind of balance out to about 8 wins. So,
yeah,
and that's that. That's just how they are every year.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's go on to the New York Jets. Justin Fields' last chance as a starter, Shane.
Yeah. Can we just move this guy to running back already? Like, the hell? Jets, man. I think this team finishes 4th in the division this year.
Yep.
AKA last.
Yes, we know how divisions work, Shane.
I think I'm educating the new viewer who is perhaps new to the game. Anyways, so that's okay. When you look at the where do I even start with the Jets? Oh my goodness. So okay, when you look at them last year, and Brandon, stop laughing.
Do you need assistance with the Jets?
When you look at them last year and recent years, okay, they've had a lot of talent and a lot of hype, but it's all guys who are washed. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith, great left tackle. We were talking about him a little bit earlier, but he's 35, 36, not as great anymore. Mm-hmm. That goes for a lot of their linemen and just a lot of their players in general. I really liked. I'm in the minority who really liked Robert Saleh as a head coach. They were consistently a top 5 defense under him, and and the offense. Dude, you try to have any sort of offensive production when your quarterbacks are guys like Zach Wilson and 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers who's ready for a nursing home, and then you have an offensive coordinator like Nathaniel Hackett, who's, why is he in the NFL? So the fact that the Jets were even, not last year, but in years prior with Saleh, that they were even competitive at all is amazing. But of course, it's the Jets, and Robert Saleh, they use him as the scapegoat because Woody Johnson's, too much of a coward to admit that he's the problem. So
he's also in the UK again. So that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like, it's just rinse and repeat. It's like the same shit just every 3 years on repeat. Um, and I think, I mean, when you look at it, it's like they, they fire Sala and they say, okay, we want a fresh new voice. And it's like, okay, so we get a guy who's a defensive guy. He's, very motivational, very, like kind of just no BS.
Former Jet.
Yeah, all these things. And then it's like, okay, well, what was your last coach like? Well, he was a defensive guy. He was very motivational. He was, it's the same guy. Yeah, and
except I think Aaron Glenn's gonna be better, but
I disagree because I think at least Sala was great schematically with X's and O's. I don't think Aaron Glenn is.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So I mean, I don't. At least Aaron Glenn does have more of the, I guess, the relatability with players because he himself was a player. But like, when it comes to game day, I mean, how close you are with the team only gets you so far. Like, yeah, that's important and you need that, but I mean, we bonded. That's not going to do shit when you have to beat the Buffalo Bills in, like, and you don't have a plan to stop them or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this team won 5 last year. I'll give them 3 this year. I mean, not to mention you lost quite a few good players that were, beneficial for you. Regardless of what we think of Aaron, he did have an okay year towards the end of the season last year.
Yeah.
Certainly much better than anything Justin Fields is going to do for them. But yeah, and then what else was there? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I feel bad for Jets fans that they you live in this area where you can choose between like 3 or 4 different teams and that's the choice you make. I mean, come on. Like that's But
Brandon,
anyways,
what
that's
is,
besides the point.
Brandon, what is the pulse around your area with the Jets?
Morgue, corpse. Just because, like, even Jets fans know there's nothing to be excited about. All the excitement is like with. I mean, it's not even in big blue with the Giants because they don't know what they really have. It's just a bunch of mishmash guys and a good defensive line. Funny enough, same thing with the Jets. Mishmash of guys, good defensive line. I mean, like that's pretty much it. Although when I look at the Jets, it's like even the guys that are considered good on this Jets team, I think they're overrated. Like I like Jermaine Johnson, good, but he was injured pretty much all last year, and I just think he's overrated anyway. Will McDonald, good last year, but 10.5 sacks in 2025 is not enough to get it done if that's your centerpiece of the defensive line. Quincy Williams, good linebacker. I don't think he's great. Sauce Gardner has declined every single year in the league since his rookie year.
Yeah, I think Sauce is top 5 most overrated players in the NFL.
This running back room was not good last year either.
And that's another problem too. You needed to add to your running back room because Breece Hall cannot carry the load by himself, and he's always injured, and you did nothing.
I mean, Braylon Allen's really good. The problem is it's just like they don't know what they're doing with the running back room just as a whole. Allen's still super young at the same time.
And the thing is, and here's the problem, they're going to have to lean on the running game because the connection between Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, even though they weren't good last year, that connection is infinitely better than Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. So I don't think that, they're going to have to lean on the running game a lot And what are you getting out of an injured Breece Hall and a still green Braylon Allen? And then what? So Justin Fields is just going to become a running back himself and just run a bunch of QB draws the whole game because he can't throw.
Could be.
So, like, that's why last year, like, everybody's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, had to leave the team because they weren't going anywhere, whatever. And even if he was still there this year, they wouldn't be going anywhere. It's the Jets, but they did manage to win 5 games last year, mostly because of how Aaron Rodgers played, and a little bit on the defense in those wins. But at the same time, you really don't have a quarterback now, and like your backup is Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor can win you a game or two, but he's not going to win you 5-6 games. Not at least not at this point in his career. I mean, in Buffalo he did, but not at this point in his career. So remember, they also have, apparently I forgot about this. they have the longest active playoff drought in American sports.
Jesus.
So
it's what,
that's
2012?
2010.
Fuck.
Glad the Mariners no longer hold that title.
They've also had 9
Yeah.
They've also had 9 consecutive losing seasons. This year's gonna be no different. So there's not much to talk about with the Jets. Like, I don't even think there's an X factor because the team sucks so much that what X factor is really gonna make a difference on this team? I mean,
Look, I am holding out very small hope for Justin Fields. I'm holding out some hope that there's something left in him. The problem is that the thing of potential is running out. Like, this is it,
and
right? So it's like he's the X factor because they need him to do something.
yeah. And then, but here's the problem too. They also gave him nobody to throw to besides Garrett Wilson. He has Alan Lazard, your wide receiver 2. Whoop-de-doo.
Did Alan Lazard? I think Alan Lazard said this is what I think. I'm trying to find the quote because I saw it somewhere. Maybe it was around the NFL. If I mess this up, I apologize. But I think Alan Lazard said this is one of his best groups he's been a part of, or something to that effect, which I'm confused by. But okay,
where
Devontae Adams in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I
don't understand. I like when your secondary option to Garrett Wilson is Alan Lazard, and then a couple guys that were just there last year. You're not going to do a whole lot. So
Yeah, no.
so it's like, and Justin Fields cannot just throw to Garrett Wilson all year long. Like last year, Justin Fields was throwing for when he was playing in those 6 starts he made with Pittsburgh. They were 4-2, but it was because the defense carried them because all Justin Fields was doing was throwing just wildly inaccurate passes to George Pickens and calling it a day. So
And that was still when the defense was pretty fresh and could,
So what do you think is going to happen this year? They might start off, that same way with them winning games with Justin Fields, but not because of him. Their defense will carry them, and then eventually after the first 3-4 weeks of that, it's going to be typical Jets football. They're like Jets fans thought that it couldn't get worse than Aaron Rodgers. Oh, watch, it will, because Aaron Rodgers at 40 is still a better quarterback than Justin Fields if Justin Fields took steroids. So I don't understand. And the thing is, this is coming from somebody that wanted to see Justin Fields start the rest of the year for Pittsburgh last year. But I don't see anything to be excited about with the Jets. And I'm sorry, Jets fans. I'm sorry for people in my area, but it's the Jets. Like, at the same time, you shouldn't be offended because you know where your team is. You know they're not going to be any good. It's the Jets. It's just like it stinks because New York sports needs something to change because New York sports has been terrible outside of the Knicks lately. So, but it's not going to be the Jets. It's not going to be the Jets or Giants. So, I don't think there's much to be excited about here. That to me, yeah, I guess that once again, it's going to almost be unanimous. The X factor would probably have to be Justin Fields because, I mean, And even then, I'm not even sold 100% on him being the X factor because it's like, honestly, to me, I might end up taking another running back. I might just say, hey, Brees Hall is going to have to carry the load quite literally because they have nothing else. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't know. You know what? I won't say Justin Fields because I just don't think it's going to matter. Even if he's good, it won't matter. So, like, good for his standards. So, I'm going to say it's Brees Hall because he has to stay healthy because we know what Brees Hall is when he's healthy. Brees Hall is like a 1,200 plus yard, rusher if he can stay healthy, which hasn't happened. I mean, he's been healthy the last 2 years, but they don't use him either. They also don't give him the ball enough. So that's another problem. Just like Buffalo doesn't give James Cook the ball. For some reason, the AFC East does not like their running backs. I mean,
No.
Miami's got Miami has a decent running game, but even they shy away from it. Like if Tua's they'll use their running game when Tua's not healthy. When Tua's healthy, it's like, oh, why is Tua throwing 40 passes and it's all to Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle? So it's like I don't think the AFC East has a problem with their running backs. I don't understand why because they have a few good ones in the whole division, but yeah, I'll say it's Brees Hall because Brees Hall is going to have to really carry that offense because we know damn well Fields and Wilson are going to have. Listen, they might both be Ohio State boys, but that's not going to matter. This is the NFL. Justin Fields is terrible.
We're losing a ton of bad teams.
Yeah, so I can't. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking about bad football. I don't even want to talk about the Jets. And you know what's funny? They have primetime games this year. Why?
What primetime games do they have?
They have. I think one of the games against Miami is one, isn't it?
Oh Jesus Christ! do you have any other X factor that you want to change to, Shane? Or
God.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep. September 29th, Jets Dolphins. It's a 7:15 game, so that's prime time.
What the hell?
They have a primetime game. Actually, and they have another one against New England.
Yeah, in Miami.
Oh God, why?
I'll say Quinnen Williams.
Sure. The Patriots were actually really fun last year.
Yeah.
Because Drake May was actually good. Like, he was really good. And that team
I have
sucked.
hope for them, actually.
Do you want to go with that, Brandon? Why do you have hope?
It's the first
I do
team,
too.
It's the first team we've talked about all night outside of the two division winners where I'm actually optimistic and not pessimistic. So, I mean, here's one of the biggest reasons. You finally have a competent coach. Congratulations, New England. It only took you 1 year of hiring a failure to realize that you should have hired the guy you should have
gone along. Yeah.
But Drake May is a stud. He turned water to wine last year. And honestly, that's an understatement. Like he got them a couple extra wins, just him alone. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, there's a reason why he was a Pro Bowler even last year. That's how well he did play when push came to shove. But I look at that team and it just feels like between their draft and what they've done in the offseason, they are finally building around a quarterback that they believe in. Mike Vrabel is a good head coach. We saw it in Tennessee. Mike Vrabel can turn water into wine too. So it's not even a question of could they finish last in the division again? Yeah. Will they? I don't think so. I think they end up they won 4 games last year. I think this year, if I had to think about the way they're trending, I'll say 6. I think they can win 6 this year.
I'm very curious about their over-under.
Yeah, what is it?
Their over-under is 8.5.
Are you serious? Why? Yeah. They're not that good. I think they're good. I don't think they're that good. No way.
What? Why does BetMGM have them at 8.5? That's
That
wild.
that can't be right because they're going to finish. They're probably. I mean, listen. They have an outside chance to finish second in this division, but that's if
Yeah,
Tua's
it's
hurt.
that's 8.5 all over the place. Fox is 8.5.
Oh,
Everyone is
I
eight
don't.
and a half.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's easy under. Easy under. Um,
Shane, is that
I'd
under
take
for
the over.
you?
are
Wow.
you actually taking the over on New England there?
I think they probably win 9
Okay.
Wow.
this year.
Continue on that. Why do you feel that way?
Well, look, I mean, Mike Vrabel is a terrific head coach. Josh McDaniels, terrible head coach, but a great offensive coordinator. We saw flashes from Drake May last year, and that was with Gerard Mayo and Alex Van Pelt. Okay, now he's got big boy coaches, and he has a really good target in Diggs, assuming he's healthy and all that. But and they have a solid offensive line as well. I mean, it's not like it's not Philly or maybe Denver offensive line, but like this is probably a top 10 unit. And the defense is good. I mean, I don't love their linebackers, but like their line is solid and their secondary is absolutely loaded. So I mean, I think they are good in all the right places. Quarterback, the trenches, the secondary, and they've got pieces that can flash and like receiver with Diggs, whatever. And not only that, but just now you have not only competent coaches, but like good coaches. I mean, Josh McDaniels, how many Super Bowls has he won? Mike Vrabel took a Ryan Tannehill-led Tennessee that did not have nearly as good of a roster as this and took them to the AFC Championship. And the next year, or maybe it was a year after, was the 1 seed in the AFC. So, yeah, I mean, I think, the Dolphins, right? I was saying with them, I think they'll start off good and then end poorly. Patriots, I think it'll be the opposite. I think they're going to start off a little rough, a little bumpy, but then, about week 6, 7, 8, 9, kind of in there, once they find their footing, I think they're going to be really competitive. Are they a playoff team this year? I don't know that I'd go that far, but like, do I think they get second in the division and probably win 9 games? Yeah.
I just did the calculation in my head as you're talking about them. Looking at their schedule, they legitimately have a chance to win 9 games. They actually do. Their schedule is actually pretty easy. Not gonna lie.
So I think, I think Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo's going to finish first as long as Josh Allen is breathing. So I think
Holy
they win.
crap! This schedule's easy.
The schedule's really easy.
Oh
Yeah,
my god! Yeah, it's easy.
I think Buffalo wins about 13. I think New England finishes probably second with 9 wins. Miami with third, about 8 wins, and then Jets finished last at like 4, probably maybe less. 3, I'll say 3. Why not? Yeah.
Are we all taking Drake May for X Factor? Are any of you guys taking Diggs or anything?
You know what?
I'll take Diggs.
This is the first time. This is the first time I'm not going to go to player. Their X factor is Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, as far as players though, like, yeah, well, I was just talking about the importance or lack thereof of the receiver position, but like, when your top receiving targets are what Hunter Henry,
Hunter Henry and It's Hunter Henry and Demario Davis and maybe Matt Collins, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then Diggs.
I don't care how anemic your receiver core is. That's bad. Okay. You got to have something other than that. And Diggs, again, assuming he's healthy and is even half the player he has been in the past, he can get you that. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's finish off with Inception. We're doing Christopher Nolan the next 3 weeks. So we're doing Inception this week, Interstellar next week, and finishing off with Dunkirk. Shane, do you want to get us started with Inception?
Well, this is
Batman.
This is Batman.
Look at the cast.
It's Christopher Nolan. He literally does movies with the same people every time.
Yep.
It's Batman, except instead of Christian Bale, it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's for lack of a better term, it's mindfuck Batman.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
For those of you other than me who don't like Tenet, this is actually easier to watch than Tenet. Like much easier.
Is.
So that's what I was going to say. This movie,
Baby Tenet.
Tenet is kind of like the spiritual sequel to this movie.
Yeah.
Except Tenet is a confusing, plot-heavy, just weird mess. Whereas this movie is, it is complicated, but it's presented in a way it still makes you right. Like it still makes you think, but it's like, oh, I got it. So yeah, and it's not like 9 years long. So that's nice. But anyways, yeah. I just think. I mean, this movie is like it's very. This is very unique, to put it mildly, and I feel like this movie very much was, like Christopher Nolan's prime, so to speak.
Yeah, this is his magnum opus, I would say. I mean, Oppenheimer, yeah, but the more I watch this movie, the more I think it's Inception, I would say.
Yeah, or Dark Knight, honestly. I mean, I think that's probably what he's more known for, or what he'll always be most known for. But
yeah,
but either way, I mean, it's like, look, it's Inception, The Dark Knight, and Interstellar. Those are like, the three that he will always be most renowned for. Even though he won the Oscar from Oppenheimer, I mean, that was, at the end of the day, that was a biopic. People care a lot more about, Batman and like cool sci-fi thrillers and whatever else.
Yeah.
Including myself. I hate biopics. But anyways, so
that's why we're skipping Oppenheimer. Maybe we'll do it for the Odyssey week, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, we can. It's fine. I can
stomach it.
Yeah, no, I can just talk shit about it. No, so, no, I'm kidding. It's not that terrible. It's just not my thing. But, yeah, so I think this is a great example of a unique, sort of complicated idea that is executed in a way that makes sense and is enjoyable to see it unfold. Yeah, I mean, it's a guy who steals secrets through people's dreams. Like, I mean, when you hear that right away, it's like, what? And then I just remember when I first heard that summary of it, or like that, log line, whatever you want to say. I was like, how in the hell does that even work? But then you watch it and it's like, whoa, okay. And I mean, there's just, some of the visuals are so mind bending. and a lot of movies have tried to sort of copy this ever since it came out, and Doctor Strange, and and it's just like
We wouldn't have Doctor Strange without this movie. I don't think.
no,
We wouldn't
oh,
have
absolutely
the
not.
no, absolutely not.
No, we don't have a lot of movies without this movie.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I mean, this is definitely a staple in, in like science fiction thriller type films. And it's just, I mean, yes, the characters go on incredible emotional journeys, but it's also just like, it's very tense, but it's just beautiful. Like as this visually, it's like just these stunning, grand, vast establishing shots and of like just a bunch of stuff happening. It's like whoa, and and then I guess my one gripe with it is the ending kind of bothers me only because it's sort of supposed to be like up to your interpretation of how it ends, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you hear what Emma? Do you hear what Emma Thomas, the producer, said about it? Which I think is the accurate thought process on it.
I probably have, but what was it?
It's that at that point he doesn't care, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, yeah, because that's like
Brandon does
thing
not like that.
yeah, no, that's stupid if that's the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like I look at it just drives me crazy when filmmakers are like, well, it's your interpretation. It's like, no, it's your film, it's your story. Why don't you tell me the way it's supposed to be? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Why are you trusting me? A dumb audience member to figure out what it means. Did you watch this movie? It's very complicated and just a total mind. You know what?
I apologize, but I just want to look at the Academy Awards. The King's Speech won Best Picture that year over Inception.
Not deserving.
That's King's Speech, Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are All Right, 127 Hours, Social Network, Toy Story, True Grit, Winterbone. Or
That's a
Winter's
hell of a
Bone.
list. That's a hell of a list.
King's Speech is literally the worst of those nominees. No, I'm not even kidding. I've seen every one of those. King's Speech is by far the worst of all of them. Not that King's Speech is a bad movie, but it's just like compared to all the others, that's yeah.
Yikes. But continue, Shane.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't have a whole lot more to say. It's
great.
I mean, it's great. It's my second favorite Nolan movie. I would say.
What's your first?
The one we're doing next.
Okay, makes sense.
Wait, are we doing it next?
We're doing Interstellar.
We are doing it next.
Okay, yeah. Interstellar is in my top 5 movies of all time. So,
yeah.
So yeah.
I've seen the memes from it, but it comes as a shock to most people. I've never watched it. So,
Interstellar? You haven't seen Interstellar? I can't wait for you. I can't wait for you to say it. If you can, I don't know if it's going to be in theaters next week, but if it is, go see it in IMAX. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. No,
that's like the one movie that everybody should see in IMAX. It's fucking fantastic.
But Inception's great. I mean, there's not like a whole lot to say about it, just because it's. I mean,
it's just
It's so famous, and it's like we all kind of know what's up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see Brandon's reaction to Interstellar next week. Now that I didn't know you never saw it, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I think I said it once when we were thinking about like movie ideas for the summer. I know I told you guys I hadn't seen it, but
I always forget that.
What's the third Nolan movie we're doing this year?
Dunkirk.
Oh.
What?
Okay. That doesn't sound good.
No, that's great.
Dunkirk's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
if
but
you
the
can ignore
the O sounded so disappointing.
if you can ignore Henry Styles in it, but or
well,
Harry
that's
Styles.
right.
He's
No,
in it.
Dunkirk is fine. I just,
What other
just-
movie should we do? Like honestly,
Well, that takes us right into the
Memento,
season.
The
Well,
Prestige.
I've never seen those.
You should. They're better than Dunkirk. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
We could do The Prestige
I
if
just
you want.
no. We're
I'm not
doing
against
Dunkirk.
it. Okay,
No.
we can save it.
No, Robert, it's your movies. So,
Yeah,
um,
I
yeah,
gotta see
Dunkirk's
them.
not bad. I just prefer other war movies. But
I mean, yeah, me too.
there are millions of war movies. So
Yeah. Brandon, what's your thought on Inception?
I mean, what else can I say that Shane hasn't already said? Because Shane and I share one brain. But like every time I watch this, I mean, this is a classic of our generation. But every time I watch it, it just happens every Christopher Nolan movie. I'm just like, wow, it's just another take on the Batman cast. But at the same time, and they're all good actors anyway, so why would you not just continue to come back to them? But it's it's very interesting that we have like I've never this is the movie that will they're still making memes about to this day, and not like haha funny, like almost like haha funny, but almost like a tribute to this movie. Like
Yeah, for
people
sure.
yeah.
like people still use the music from this movie in reels and things like that. Like
Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing.
it's
The score is great.
yeah, like I mean most Christopher Nolan movies are, but it's just like with Inception, this is such a milestone movie for or like a cornerstone movie, a pillar for our generation, that it's like if you like listen, I haven't seen Interstellar, but I've seen Inception, and it's just every time I see it, it's nice because while I do pat myself on the back for understanding the plot of Tenet on the first try, this one is just so much easier to digest. Like I feel like since I've watched Tenet, I can watch anything. That
Yeah.
anything that messes with my mind, I can watch anything because I survived Tenet. But this you don't have to think too hard about it. It's just they literally tell you straight on from the opening part of the movie. It's like, hey, this is a movie about stealing ideas and thoughts and things from people's dreams. And then of course it does get complicated, and every Christopher Nolan movie does. But it's just I love the fact that the cast is always the same reliable cast of characters that he uses. Same actors and actresses for the most part. And I just love the fact that if you understand anything about how movies are shot, I mean Christopher Nolan is just the way that he does his movies, the people that he hires around him, the way things are edited when it comes to movies, the way things are shot, the entire cinematography of it is just insane. I mean, I still think my favorite scene comes early in the movie. When was it? How do you say her name? Ariadne. Her character. That character.
Yeah.
Like when she's literally entering Cobb's dream, his mind for the first time, and she's building stuff in his dream. She's building a walkway. She's building she even has.
That's my
this
favorite scene of the whole movie. That's my favorite scene.
Well, and she's engrossing herself kind of in his mind and playing around with the world that's inside of his mind, more or less. And I just thought that the way that is shot and the way that is done, I have not seen a movie do anything like that before or after. I haven't seen that, and it's it's one thing to make a sci-fi, a sci-fi like a psychological kind of movie, but this is the bar that all those movies try to exceed, and they don't, or they can't. And I every time I watch it, I find myself kind of like smiling at it, like my still having my mind kind of not blown, but like still like challenging like me to think deeper about what's going on. But I'm not a fan. Like Shane, I'm not a fan of like the choose your own adventure ending. Oh, it is what it is to you. Like no, I don't like endings like that. Like it's like to me that's just a cop out for lazy like writing and lazy kind of like storyboarding and things like that. That just
Yeah.
feels like it's lazy to me, and I don't like that. But I mean, outside of the ending, it's a phenomenal movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. To me, like I'll always still look at Christopher Nolan, think of the Batman trilogy, but especially the Dark Knight. But this is like this movie is a very close second to that. Um, it'll change maybe once I see Interstellar next week, but it's definitely. I still have to watch Oppenheimer yet. Yes, people listening can berate me and then drag me through the streets of New Jersey, flogging me. Shame on me. Um, but and I'll get there eventually. But
We'll probably do it for Odyssey week, so you can wait. You can wait a little bit on it.
and I'm actually
Plus,
excited for the Odyssey because I never actually in high school we never had to read the Odyssey. A lot of people did. We didn't have to in my high school.
Oh, I never read it. So
Me neither.
but I know the story of it. I know the story. But when it comes with just with Inception, it's insane to think about that. This is like Christopher Nolan was had made good movies in the past, but this was the movie that cemented his status as one of the best filmmakers of an era, or even in the last 30, 40 years.
I just love his creativeness. Like Shane and I always talk about this.
Yeah,
Shane and I always talk about this with Christopher Nolan. It's like almost no matter what he makes. Like with the Odyssey, we were like, what is he doing? What? And then we're like, okay, we'll see it anyway. I don't care.
Yeah,
I just think that's just what he is, and I think that's what makes him such a great filmmaker as a whole.
It's just so fun to watch his movies. I mean, Tenet, if you like, for anybody that wants to actually like digest it, I mean, people have seen it already, but like for anybody that's interested in seeing that, like I said, I'm proud of the fact I got that on the first try, that I understood what was going on the first try, but because that was insanely hard when I was watching
I've watched
it.
that movie like 5 times, and I still am trying to figure it out to this day. To be honest, but I still love it.
It's an insanely hard watch, but but all Christopher Nolan movies, I like a movie like outside of Tenet, because Tenet makes you think too hard. But I think that what Christopher Nolan does with the rest of his movies is that you have to think about what he's trying to tell you, and then the themes and whatever. But you're not completely left in the dark about what's happening.
Yeah.
So like it's like because some movies are just like like experimental, or they're called like art films, like for the sake of being artsy or whatever it is, and they make you think too much or it's too unconventional. His is not unconventional. The stories are like at its core are very straightforward, but it's what's happening within it and like within the story that makes you think about what he's trying to say and what he's setting up for even later parts of the movie. When you look at like the early parts of a movie that he kind of takes you on this journey through. But in Inception is so weird because it's also a movie that, even though it's sci-fi and even though it's not a real concept, that like on the surface, when you think about what he's talking about with the whole kind of like lucid dreaming thing, we've all been there. So like,
I love how he explains, to add to that, I love how he explains like when we're dreaming, we use like so much more of our brain and our processes and things.
Like that's the best part about Christopher Nolan movies in general, especially with this, is that the basis of it is based in reality.
Yep.
but he's taking it somewhere where it doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
it's like it's even in the Batman movies. It starts out grounded in reality, and then it ends up going to a whole different, you know, like by the end of the
Stratosphere
movie,
of
it's chaos. But it's like the best way to describe a Christopher Nolan movie is controlled chaos.
very much.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of how I look at it. So it's like it's no different with this. But I mean, for me, this is a movie that I've always come back to because of the score, because of the acting, because of the pace. And something too, the pacing of this is interesting because this is supposed to be a 2.5 hour movie, or a little over 2.5, about 2.5 hours. It doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. It feels like it's like an hour 45 ish. Like it goes pretty quick for a two. It's the quickest
it's
2.5 hours I've had in my life.
It's really funny you guys say that because did I tell you how long this took me to watch on my first time? Like watching it?
Yeah.
Like 5 hours. Because I kept rewinding. I was trying to understand everything. I was like, what the hell is it was just so new to me as like a concept and an idea. I was like, what the hell is going on? But
You know what's funny in that, I don't know how true this is because it's on Wikipedia, but I did kind of look this up for a second earlier today after I finished watching it. That originally Nolan wanted this to be a lucid dreaming, like a movie about lucid dreaming, but a horror film.
I see some of the horror elements in it. And I think it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, he didn't want this to be like a sci-fi action, like whatever it is, film. He wanted this to be originally a horror film about dream stealing. But
Yeah.
doesn't that already exist? That's what Freddy Krueger is. No,
Right. Yeah.
Like
Nightmare on Elm Street.
like at its core, that's what Nightmare on Elm Street pretty much is. So like that to me, that wouldn't have made sense. This was perfect the way it was. That's another thing too with Christopher Nolan and why it's like genius. It takes him like a decade to finally put together like ideas. Like
Yeah.
it's like he's a genius, but it's not like it's well thought. It's not like it's just like it's not like he's like a boy wonder where it's like he's like, or a virtuoso where it's like, oh my god, and Dick comes by in 2 seconds and the movie's made by next year. It's like no, it takes him about 10 years to put together a solid, like to put together a whole idea from start to finish. So it's like, but the thing is like to never, that's the one thing, he never loses sight of the movie or the story he wants to tell. I mean, he might, sometimes his endings are questionable and he always leaves a lot of things up to interpretation and whatnot. That's just what Christopher Nolan does. But, and in some movies it makes more sense versus others. Like this one doesn't make sense, especially because you're already, from the first 5 minutes of the movie, you're already, kind of like taking people on a ride, confusing them a little bit like that. So to have your own kind of ambiguous ending is like, all right. But I mean, but just there's no getting around it. Both with this movie and with all the ones he does. The cinematography is great, the score is great, the acting is great, the actors that he continues to work with are phenomenal. It's just great all there. Because Christopher Nolan's just great. Like this has become a Christopher Nolan love fest the next 3 weeks.
It's gonna be great.
But we'll see.
Robert loves that.
Yes,
yeah, I know because you've been gushing over Christopher Nolan for the last like 2 years on our shows.
Yeah. Every movie's gonna get a 10 for me, so don't even ask. Actually, maybe not. Maybe not Dunkirk. I haven't watched Dunkirk in a while, so that's probably gonna be the only one. But
this is a 9 for me. This is a 9.
Okay, Shane, where do you have this?
Yeah, I'd give it an A.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
This gets an easy 10 for me. It's so good. I love this movie. Brandon, I'm going to come to you first next week. I'm very curious about your thoughts on Interstellar, dude, because that movie is...
Me too.
That movie's fantastic.
I don't know
dude.
why.
Oh my
I
God, bro.
I don't know why I never watched it when it came out.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Like, I know the memes. I know all the memes, but it's like I haven't actually watched it. Like, so.
What? Wait, are we doing The Martian this year, Shane? Are
Yeah.
we? Okay.
Yeah.
because this is going to be a fun kind of precursor to that as well. All right. Well, for
yes.
Shane, Brandon, and myself, anything else, guys, before we go?
No, sir.
That's it. That's
All
it.
right. For Shane, Brandon, and myself, we'll see you over the weekend for the awful South divisions. Oh, God. All right. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.